Tom Cruise and Ana de Armas were seen holding hands at an Oasis concert at Wembley Stadium. Oasis famously bashed Tom Cruise in the 1990s at one of their shows, but it looks like Tom Cruise's love for Ana de Armas has healed those wounds. Tom Cruise kept trying to do a few stunts while he was at the concert, but thankfully Ana de Armas was able to stop him by holding his hand. My name is Riley Hamilton, and I'm joined by Amy Scarlotta, and this is Turtle Time.
Wow. She really is making the rounds.
Ana de Armas?
She loves star quality in a man.
Remind me, because for me, I don't even remember pre Tom Cruise. Who else
Ben
was she?
Affleck, famously,
Oh my god, of
during
course.
COVID.
Oh my god, a COVID relationship. When they were in that, remember they were in that erotic thriller together called
Oh
Under
yeah.
the Water,
Yeah.
or I'm in.
Wasn't it about like snails or something? I never
Yeah,
saw it.
I mean either, but I remember people were like, Finally, we're getting R-rated erotic thrillers again," and people were so excited. But I don't think they showed up to Hulu to watch that thing. But
Yeah.
Ben Affleck and at least Anna De Armas and Ben Affleck were able to have a little bit of a relationship from that movie, which I appreciate.
Yeah. You know, I are they did it I didn't read the thing. I saw the photo though of them holding hands, but they are doing a movie together, right?
Oh, I think so. I think they're post a movie that they made together, and then people said that sparks were flying, like the crew and stuff, like couldn't even film scenes with them
Like
almost
the
because it was too.
sparks out of Xenu's spaceship.
Oh my God! Yeah, exactly the same sort of sparks that would have flown when Xenu was coming to Earth for the first time to get those Thetans under control. But so their sparks were flying, and then this was now kind of they've now this was the first official sign that they were in actually maybe in a relationship. I mean, you didn't see the photos, but them at this Oasis concert, I've never seen anything like it. They're looking at each other directly in the eyes. They're whispering words to each other, and you could just tell that, like, I don't know what it was about this concert, but they were just having the time of their life. And then they had a full, like, sort of London date after that. They went and got ice cream in Piccadilly Circus. They went to I think a huge thrift store near uh, what's that the main square of London.
Uh, well, the first one that came to mind was Trafalgar Square. There's
Is that
so many. I love when we just list off London areas.
And I certainly lost every other one except Piccadilly Circus. But anyway, it just said they were going doing the rounds. And then I have to say this: can I keep talking for a second?
Please.
I have to say I think Cupid is in the air around Hollywood specifically, or in the pop culture realm. Cupid is targeting certain notable figures because you sent me this slew.
Cupid's on a rampage.
Cupid is Cupid is going nuts in a good way, striking people with arrows in a nice way, making them fall in love. Because you sent me that there's a lot of romantic news going on. I saw that Justin Trudeau also got ice cream in Piccadilly Circus with Katy Perry, and then what was that other new couple that was just starting to?
Pam Anderson and freaking Liam Neeson, the
Oh,
stars of the new Naked Gun movie.
that is amazing. I've seen that scene that they keep showing in the trailer. I keep laughing every single time. Actually, I really think it's so funny, and I love that they're possibly dating. So yeah, it was Pamela Anderson, Liam Neeson, Justin Trudeau, and Katy Perry, and then lastly, of course, Tom Cruise and Ana de Armas. And this is just the start of the day. I mean,
Yeah,
who knows what Cupid
crazy.
is going to do next?
Well, Liam Neeson is notoriously endowed, as they say.
Really? Who? When
Yes,
did they say this?
that's the legend.
Wow. Oh my god, I didn't know that. Speaking of I guess Liam Neeson, Andy Cohen just saw Naked Gun and he said this is the funniest one of the funniest films I've ever seen. I was laughing front to back the entire time. And I've heard
He is
that
a
from
friend of Liam, but we can trust him.
Andy Cohen's a friend of Liam Neeson?
Yeah,
Oh, I
he
didn't
was
know
like
that.
best friends with his deceased wife.
Oh my god. Oh, I remember that. I didn't know how close he and Liam still were. Okay. Okay. Well, so take it with a grain of salt, but everyone that I've seen see Naked Gun, they say, "Oh my god, it's like Frank Drebin, Jr. is taking the mantle of his father, and this is funny as hell." I like
Yeah,
Akiva Schaffer too, the director. I think he's actually funny, so
yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm interested. I wasn't like a Naked Gun girly growing up.
Mm.
not to gender things, but always felt like it was more of like for the boys. Like I
Hmm.
was like, this is too silly for me. Like all the men I know, I feel like have seen all of those movies or like those like
Yeah.
goof movies like way more than I have.
Yeah, it's pure jokes. Like there's no plot or anything. It's just the silliest things you've ever seen in sequence. Like there's no adherence to anything except making a joke, which I find funny as an outlier sort of thing. But
Yeah.
we'll see. Can this Naked Gun stack up to the legacy of the former trilogy from the 1990s or 80s and 90s? I don't know.
Ugh, Jax should have been at the premiere.
Oh my god, that'd be so funny if he could have pulled that off. Him in front of the on the red carpet with that big sign behind him, and him doing that little like copying Frank Drebin.
Yeah.
Oh my, it would be a huge wink wink for us.
If I worked at that studio, I would absolutely be sending him a PR box.
Yeah. Oh my god. I don't know. Someone should tell them that hey, there's a really good inside joke you could play right now that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
And it includes Jax Taylor.
Perfect timing. Like, come on.
It's perfect.
Oh my
It's
god.
perfect.
By the way, we were talking about this right before, but I saw a video of a cameo that Jax did that I mean, I have to assume that's kind of like his only source of income now besides his
Mhm.
podcast. So he's probably railing him off left and right, but I don't know what the it sounds like from what he's saying that the prompt is that someone's just had someone pass away in their
Yeah.
life and he's like, I'd love to tell you that, time heals all wounds. It's going to be okay. But guess what? I'm 6 years in. It's worse than ever. You're not going to be okay. You're never going to recover from this.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going through the hardest time of my life right now. Everything sucks. I wish I could say it's going to get better, but it's just not. And the person who cut it for TikTok had that long talk edit where they just keep going in and out, making it seem like it was the most rambling, nonsense that he was spewing. But I was saying, I think I would appreciate that getting that kind of
Oh,
cameo from
yeah.
if you requested one from Jax, other rather than like, Happy birthday, I'm going to go to sewing down south for a minute, goodbye. Like
Yeah.
I like that the idea that he really put thought in 10 minutes into it and just wanted to like ramble.
Yeah. Did we talk about? I don't think we talked about it on the pod, but maybe just on our like chat. But there's a thing going around that it's like justice for Jax, some
Hmm.
account that people think is him, which we
Hmm.
are like questioning if he's even capable of such a thing. But whoever it is, it's like this whole masterminded account where they
Yeah.
use like AI images of like Jax like triumphing, and then there's like a montage of videos of Bravo celebrities wishing him the best. It's like Sonia Morgan, like Vicky, I think, like all these people being like, Jax, like you've been through a lot and we know that you'll, do
Yeah.
great. And it's like, who did this?
I think that once the Frank Drebin reveal came out, some playful Bravo fans are having a little bit of fun and creating a lot of different outlets for to pose as Jax anonymous accounts, and so Justice for Jax is obviously making fun of Jax. It's like, could you imagine if he was doing this? I think that's the same for that fake number that came in that Kristen said this is Jax emailing me or texting me from a burner account. I think that people are having a little bit of fun now, possibly getting on the radar of Bravo celebrities by pretending posing to be Jax online, even though the Frank Drebin stuff was exposed as being completely real, and he does do this. But I just don't believe that AI Justice for Jax account has anything to do with Jax. Unfortunately, it'd be funny if it did.
Yeah. This is my reminder again to try and find his eBay account and see what's listed because I want something.
He changed it. Remember, we checked about 6 months ago or 4 months ago, and he had changed the original handle. I think he ported everything over to a new one, and it's probably not going to be JT X Ailer
Someone will
80
find it.
79. But if somebody does, yeah, I mean, he's definitely going to be doing some major eBay stuff. Yeah, we kind of talked, we talked about Jax's Studio City closing on Patreon just because we wanted to have the hottest takes in the universe on it when it came out. But we were kind of discussing what Jax's life is going to be like post all of these enterprises, post losing Vanderpump Rule, or sorry, The Valley season 3, and his bar now, the thing that kind of that was giving him all of the life in the world, being able to say he was a bar owner. And he actually reiterated or made me more concerned for him during this reunion that we're going to talk about, because he said, you should have fucking seen how shitty life was for me after I was fired for Vanderpump Rules. I was spiraling. It was horrible. And I was like, oh God, I was saying that I think he's going to be okay. And he's going to, he's going to be able to hopefully grow and learn during this year. But he made it seem like when I get fired, it's bad news for everyone.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to put that little tweak of my take on there, because now that we have the reunion that we
Yeah.
have processed, I'm a little more concerned now about Jax in this fallow period than I was a day ago.
Yeah. I mean, as of this reunion, he's not even fired yet, I don't think. And he's completely defeated. Like,
Yes.
he barely speaks throughout. When he does, it's like very like sad sack. Just like, all right, like, what do you want from me? Like, this is horrible. Like, what can I do? Like, oh God.
He goes, I'm a human. I'm a human. People forget. You think I'm a devil, but I'm just a human sitting here. It's like, oh my God. He does also admit, I mean, not, no, he partially admits to almost everything Brittany says. And at this point, he has no standing in terms of telling the truth. I mean, everyone has thought this for years, but I'm like, no, everything Brittany says at this reunion is definitely true about
Yeah.
Jax. And he gives her like, oh yeah, let's just say that that is true. But I believe everything that Brittany is saying now. And it's a horrible, horrible moral descent for Jax throughout this entire process. I mean, every anecdote that Brittany says makes Jax look like absolute fucking shit. It's the real crux of this reunion. I mean, I don't know if we want to, I don't know if we have any other news, but for me, all of the other shit that we're talking about is superfluous to just watching Jax and Brittany go out about the destruction of their marriage. And you now understand why it's 3 parts, because they're just allowing for Jax and Brittany to get into it for the entire time, and then they're gonna dip into the ring shit and all this other shit that nobody cares about. But really,
Yeah.
it's about Jax and Brittany, and then to a lesser extent probably Jesse and Michelle.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm down to get into it. I was entertained
Me too.
throughout. Like, I was like, there's so many details and little things that we've been waiting for. So far watching it, I didn't feel that I meant to look up exactly when they filmed this. I remember seeing it at the time, but like, how long ago was this? Like a month ago?
Yeah,
More?
or two
2
months
months ago?
Remember, it was like after the 4th episode had aired, so
Yeah.
it was really, really early in the run. So they haven't had time to see the internet reaction, which is something that Andy talked about. So someone like Janet, let's just say, for example, has not seen yet the online reaction to her performance, and so she could probably be doubling down about all of the things that she did, and she doesn't have these 2 months of online chatter to use in her defense to be like, I need to respond to this. This is something that people are not on my side for, and that's a detriment to her, because she could double down throughout this entire reunion and then not get any grace from fans.
Yeah, I got a clip from Bravo this morning that was like, there's a moment that we'll talk about where she makes a little remark, and it's part of the clip, but it's not the whole clip, but it's part of it. And literally every single comment on the video was like, shut up, Janet, that's enough. We've heard enough of you. Like, there were like 20 in a row. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it was 90% be quiet, Janet. I can't wait until you're off this show. This sucks. And it was for one stray comment, which I also didn't like, of Janet accusing Danny of lying. But it's like 1 second of the clip. And that's all that people are responding to, because their hatred of Janet is so profound.
Yeah.
Which,
I wonder, I mean, she's one of those people where I was talking with my friend about, like, her Q score cannot be good, but I wonder if they have like multi-level Q scores where it's like people fucking hate her guts, but it's energizing. So like that's good. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
Just pure negative shit. Like, she's got to go.
There must be villain Q score. I think we've talked about this before. There's definitely a different tier of Q score for villains. Oh my God, they're ranking a 2 on our Q score. But look at how vibrant these cues are that are coming in. Whereas someone like Michelle, no offense,
Yeah.
probably has a lackluster cue, and then it doesn't have the cue stamped in calligraphy, and it's like, whoa. Uh, there's
She like I have low chi. She has low Q.
Yeah, and like you can imagine Katie Janelli. It's like you can imagine the people that get like, ooh, I don't know about this Q score, and also it's not a vibrant Q.
Yeah.
Whereas Janet is probably propulsive.
Yeah.
The needle is going, whatever metrics they use. It's like, whoa, Janet is causing something. I'm sure Tamara
Right.
has a similar reaction.
The
People are
Richter.
the Richter scale. So of course, I believe Bravo has more complicated metrics than just
Yeah.
Q scores for evaluating these cast members and whatever. Janet is probably meeting the criteria for someone who gets to stay despite the hatred online for that person.
Yeah, I was just saw a clip of Cole Escola on Amy Poehler's podcast, and they were having a conversation of they were talking about that most people you can either decide are either boring or annoying, and I was like, that's totally true, and I think that I associate myself with pure annoying. Like I will always take annoying over boring. Like boring is like unacceptable to me in like all facets of life.
Uh, uh okay, so it's only those two options.
One bucket or the other. And I feel like
Yeah,
Michelle is boring and Janet is annoying.
right. Yeah, I guess I'd rather be classified as annoying than boring.
Cuz at least it's like something to grab onto.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll go for that. And then I think you're right. That kind of does hit on why there are some Bravo celebrities that just are considered duds with low Q scores versus, this other category that I'm sure Janet has now been in. But, you said this 2 weeks ago, or maybe last week, where Janet can now not say any words. Hello, Danny, and like it's like don't ever say hi to Danny for after what you did. It's like I think still there needs to be some recalibration here
Yeah.
on Janet because, like you said, the Adderalls and Pilates. I snorted Adderall and did Pilates once a week. It was like shut up, and it's like shut up. You don't deserve Adderall. It's like okay, all right. We can have some lighthearted humor here.
Yeah.
We can give her credit sometimes. She's not an abomination of a human that has never uttered a good word in her life. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. No, she couldn't win. She said at one point that if you count the baby, she's lost 70 pounds, which is like unbelievable. But I'm like, even if she did say like I took, a
Mhm.
GLP-1 or whatever, everyone would have been like, fuck you.
Fuck you. And then Zach's standing there and he goes, I took one too. And they go, we love you, Zach. Thank you for being honest.
It's awesome. You look
yeah.
great.
Yeah. I mean, you know how I feel. I think that we've come to the place where everyone should just admit GLP-1s. I love Zach's outspoken nature
Yeah.
revolving
He
around
has
that.
like a brand deal for his. Like he promotes it all the time.
Yeah, it's nice, and I really do think like how that plastic surgery thing is going, like how people are saying like which I should do. I've had a nose job. Like you clarify what you've done, so you're not gatekeeping beauty or not beauty, but
Yeah,
how
Riley, what have you had? Like, what are we looking at?
just nose job, a little bit of Botox, a filler in my bottom lip, and I'm glad that you gave me the opportunity to say this because I have been sort of just letting
Upper
this
blef.
face. Upper left. I've let this face kind of just go out without any acknowledgement of the things that I've done to make it happen. But anyway, I think that people probably were, maybe mad at Janet for I don't know making light of that, that comment that the Adderalls and Pilates thing.
Yeah, it's just like once someone is tipped over the edge of annoying,
Yeah.
then you see them through that lens and you're like, shut up.
Yeah, stop it. And that happens right at this top of the hour. So let's start recapping the Valley reunion. The Valley season 2 reunion part 1 is going to be 3 parts. This is the first of them. We kind of are going to go over the highlights of this. Not every piece of this needs to be discussed. But it starts out at Radford Studios. This studio looked beautiful. We've seen this before, right?
They must be thrilled. That's so close for some of them. Like
Oh.
it's right there.
Oh my God! You get the call sheet the night before, and you find it out it's at Radford at 7 a.m. You're like, holy shit! It's gonna take me
To roll out of bed.
10 minutes. That's amazing. Andy does something I've never seen him do before. He picks up a banana and he goes, "Hello, Bravo." He goes, "It's Andy here," and I go, "Oh my God! What silly spirit got into Andy? Sort of a Charlie Chaplin-esque little joke at the start of it. I was like, where did this come from?
Yeah, that was bizarre. um, but yeah, so they, we get some little tidbits of like them getting ready, and then, like I said last week, I don't know if you now formally noticed Jesse's coat because I was very into it.
Yeah. Oh my God. This is so shameful of me. Even watching it twice, I didn't look for 1 second at his coat. I swear by part two, I'm gonna look at what he's wearing. It's nice.
It's just so flamboyant. I love it. He's like, I whatever. Maybe he's pure evil, but I do find him quite entertaining.
Of course, yeah, of course. I don't think. I mean, we'll get horrible, horrible, reviews, which I can't tolerate for 1 second. They hurt me every time I see anything negative. I think about it for weeks on end. But I just there is a certain person that comes onto these shows that, despite their moral failings, they are entertaining, which we've talked about. Oh my God, every single month for 2 years, and Jesse definitely fulfills that criteria. I think that he's done horrible things, obviously, but in this reunion, you're kind of bouncing between Michelle and Jesse, and wondering where the truth lies in these two stories. I certainly was.
Yeah.
As they go back and forth about their own narratives revolving their divorce and the fallout. Speaking of, Michelle has moved in with Aaron, and then it's kind of like you and I, who have now this time to think about. It's already over.
Yeah.
We haven't discussed that very much, but Michelle and Aaron are done. Last time we checked, and then Michelle goes, "Yeah, it's great. I love Aaron so much. Isabella is with us half the time." And then Jax goes, "That's not true." And I was just like, huh? What? Which
Yeah.
part? What's not true? Was he talking to Jesse, that Jesse doesn't get Isabella enough, or
Yeah.
that she doesn't take care of her? It was like Jax wanted to start getting in a fight before they were even ready to. Because Andy kind of has this pacing where it's like 10 minutes of frivolity. So,
Yeah.
like, and then you could tell this cast was so tense during it. He would be like, "Jesse, I like your coat," and Jesse would be like, "Oh, thanks. Oh God, thank you so much." And then they were so tense, and it all kind of gets uh, to reality of where they're going to be fighting once Brittany says that thing about Jax, and it
Mhm.
ruins Andy's pacing for 5 to 7 minutes where he wants to keep things light.
Right. Yeah. No, they do not ask for further detail on Jack's comment, which I'm like, I hope that comes again later, because I was like, I love Jax having an opinion on everyone else's business.
Me
Um,
too.
I'm also like dying to know that. I mean, that's got to be good for Michelle's score, because everyone wants to know what the hell happened with she. If they just moved in like 2 months ago and they just broke up in July, that's like fucking crazy to like build your daughter a like bedroom in a man's house and then 2 months later be like, JK, we're moving. Like, it had to have been something bad.
Totally. I mean, yes, you're right. That bumped her Q score. People started buzzing a little bit more. You know what? I remember now. I didn't say this during our Q score talk. Megan fills out these surveys that Bravo sends her. She's on
Oh,
this
really?
like amazing secret insider Bravo survey thing, and
You
they'll be
should
like,
disclose that at the top of every episode, that you have someone in your household who's making judgments.
I should. And little do they know that I'm whispering in Megan's ear, going, "Lower the Q score. I think it should be much worse." But no, she can write and say like, "What would make you want to have Michelle back for season 3?" And it would be like, "I like this and this and this." So it is much more complicated than just this person sucks, or rate
Right.
this person on a scale of 1 to 10. It's like there's a lot of more qualitative data, I think, that they're using here.
I'm picturing like a whole like World War II like lab where they're like wearing
Oh,
headphones and they're getting like "Do, do, 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 do," like she's moved out of Aaron's, like put it in the score.
Oh, absolutely. So you're right. Michelle just got bumped up major because they are going to want to know what happened. I mean, it's a major question. One of the top 5 questions you'd
Uh,
have at the start
and
of Valley season 3.
even though you know that Jesse's probably like secretly like ha 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 ha, he's also like gonna give her so much shit, like, wow, like upending our daughter, making her life hell.
Yeah, what was that conversation like when she had to say goodbye to Aaron forever after living in his house half the
Yeah.
time? Like, oh yeah, he's definitely giving her shit for that. Weaponizing
Oh yes.
his daughter,
Poor
which they've accused.
Isabella. She's the real
Yeah.
loser, not calling her a loser, but she loses in this situation.
Yeah, she's a real loser, like Amy said. Kristen,
Cut the clip.
an amazing Kristen moment. Kristen goes, I have not seen audience feedback. Mark this. I have not seen anything of what will be to come of me and how I will be celebrated, which Kristen is on a hero's journey for this entire
Oh, yeah.
season. People love Kristen. She is very celebrated at the end of the season. But she goes, I have one thing that I did not like to see. I did not like when I said I'm going to beat the shit out of Janet on this boat. And I want to leave her out to sea and throw her off this boat with an anchor attached to her. She goes, I shouldn't have said that. And I certainly shouldn't have called her a whore. What the hell was I talking about there? You're not a whore, Janet. And Janet goes, thank you. And it's actually, you know, I don't think Janet was expecting that. So Janet does give Kristen a very nice acknowledgement, like, oh, you surprised me. That was sweet. And that's like the one horrible thing that Kristen did besides the ring rumor, which no one fucking cares about. So
Yeah.
Kristen's completely absolved within 5 minutes. I'm like,
Yeah.
and I didn't
Janet
even care
lost
that
her segment.
totally. Yeah. Janet was probably like, oh, wow, you just diffused me completely. You know,
Yeah.
she would probably have gone nuts about being left at sea by Kristen or, you know, like the claim that she could have been left at sea on that honeymoon boat. Like she could have run wild with that, and Kristen disarmed that completely. So nice Kristen moment. Really
Yeah.
shows growth at the
She's
start.
a winner. Okay, and then we get like Brittany is like furious from the jump. Like she hates Jax so much
Oh, yeah.
that she's like every time he says anything or she says anything about him, she's so pissed. Um she brings up, which I think we kind of touched on before because this clip went out before, but that Brittany says Jax called her saying he didn't know yet if he would be renewed on the show, and so he didn't want to formally like finalize the divorce until he knows if he will be able to get alimony from her if she stays on the show and he doesn't, which we now know is true. And he's like, you're not wrong. He's like, I did say something to that effect, basically.
Yeah. Which means true. This happened. Absolutely, this happened. He's not denying it. Even if he did deny it, it's probably true. It sounds true. And so we have to just mark this as, wow, that is something that Jax actually said. I'm prolonging this divorce to see if I can get money from you.
Yeah. I mean, if the tables were turned, I would say, like, if it was the exact opposite situation where Brittany didn't know if she was going to get renewed, I'd be like, yeah, you should wait. Like, wait until the numbers are in your favor.
Yeah, you're right. I guess I don't know enough about about when you file and what it means, and do you wait for the year's upcoming salary or something. So I don't know how like actually prudent that is, but it just sounds bad from me as someone who doesn't know anything about divorce to be like, I'm prolonging this and purposefully taking a lot of time because you might make more money than me, and so I want them to declare that I get your money.
Well,
like,
and especially because he's like losing the show because he's like of his poor behavior.
Totally. So he doesn't deny that at all. They get into a little bit about Kristen and Nia being pregnant at the same time. They're like 4 days apart.
I know. How did that happen?
33 and 2. I think they must have called each other and said, let's make love at the same time with Luke and Danny.
Go now.
Go now. So that's amazing. And they've been, at one point, they say like Kristen has even more solidified her relationship with Danny and Nia. I mean, she really was an ally to Danny and Nia this season. They're one vocal ally the entire time. And now I bet Nia and Kristen's bond is like nothing you've ever seen in your life. Probably one of her best friends for all time because they had each other to confide in. And Kristen asked Nia tons of questions throughout her pregnancy because this is Nia's fourth pregnancy. So you could tell that Kristen is still
Third.
Absolutely
Twins was one.
I'm so sorry. Oh. Can we cut that out?
Beep. No. But yeah, because she was talking about how the twins one was like way gnarlier, and that's when she got postpartum, etc.
Right.
And then Andy's like, Danny, dude, like, why did you do this to yourself? All you do is complain about how miserable your life is. Like, you got to get a vasectomy, and he like won't even. I mean, it seems like they're in agreement that this is the end. Like, she makes a comment like, this is the last one.
Yeah.
And then he's like, yeah, all you guys should get vasectomies or whatever. And Brittany's like, Jax needs to get one or he'll have 20 baby mamas. Like, she keeps just like spouting. Like, she's like, can't help herself. She's like, he's disgusting.
Yeah. Yes. And then that's the mood shift. It's like, okay, no more fun pleasantries. Like, we're really getting into it. And you can tell that the energy shifts like, oh, we're going to start to talk about real shit now. She goes, he doesn't use a condom. Andy goes, you don't use a condom. And Jax kind of just doesn't say any words, but it sounds like he doesn't. Which is a big deal. I mean, I can't believe that. The fact that he could just possibly have another child
Sicko.
anytime he has sex. And she goes, I wouldn't touch your dirty, filthy dick with a 10-inch pole. And I thought to myself,
Not
oh
long
my,
enough.
yeah, I go, I mean, what does that say? Because I'm used to 10-foot pole, which, it's much longer in a way, but she says 10-inch pole. I think it was a little bit of a slip
Yeah,
up
like
there.
10-inch. That's not even a ruler. Like I'm picturing like one of those like pool cleaners, like
Yeah, I mean,
where it's like all the way across.
yeah, I mean, I'll just be frank. You're still pretty close to it at 10.
That's yeah, the proximity much too close. But yeah, she keeps going, "You're disgusting. He's disgusting." And he goes, when she says she wouldn't touch his dick with a 10-inch pole, he goes, "That's not what you said 4 months ago when we were at the aquarium and we went to Hooters after, and you were like, do you think we should hook up one more time?" And she goes, "Doubtful." And I was like, girl, that is not
Yeah.
staunch enough of a rebuttal.
Yeah, yes, yeah, and I feel clear-headed enough to acknowledge that it sounded like this happened, because why would Brittany say doubtful? And then she goes, and besides, that was before I knew how dirty your penis was from all of this sex that you've been having. So she even allows that was a different. And also, I didn't think it was a huge win for Jax to say 4 months ago. It's kind of a long time ago.
Yeah.
If it was a month ago, a couple of weeks ago, it'd be like, okay, Brittany, that's pretty close. But 4 months ago,
Yeah.
and it was at a beautiful aquarium
Do you
when
think it was
she's
the
drunk.
aquarium of the Pacific?
I think if I'm thinking an aquarium that I know, yes, that has to be
Beautiful
it.
Long Beach.
Who doesn't possibly rekindle romance with an ex when you're walking around the Pacific, or what'd you call it? Pacific of the Sea aquarium, and you're drunk, and then you go to Hooters after. It's
I
like
mean,
that's
they both get so horny at Hooters.
yeah,
That's
it's
like their love language.
you're already horny at the aquarium, and then you go to Hooters on top of that. It's like anyone drunk with their ex is going to want to have sex with them. So I acknowledge that Brittany slipped, but then she goes, but I know too much now about you, and that'll never happen again. And he goes, well, what about the sex that you had with that guy who has sex with porn stars? And she goes, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but at least I use condoms. And he goes, there were condoms strewn all about your room everywhere. And Andy goes, whoa. That's he said, he doesn't say this, but he's thinking, whoa, the pleasantry segment is over. And he grimaces that like we're really getting into it now.
Yeah. Yeah. And she basically says something to the effect of like, I might have sex with a guy who has sex with porn stars, but you yourself are the one that has sex with like OnlyFans girls. So I don't know what you're talking. And I'm like, this is so like nasty. Like, I'm like, you guys need to fucking chill.
Yeah, we were totally. Megan had couples therapy on last night, and I was like,
I need to watch that new one.
yeah, no, it was good. It was the start of the season or whatever. And I was thinking, like, in a way, this reunion is sort of a salacious version, of couples therapy where Andy is the therapist in a way, but it's just the most
Oh my God. I would pay like $500 a month to watch Jax and Brittany with Orna.
Yeah, I think you said that, and when I actually watched it, I was like, oh my God. I mean, a couples therapy. I mean, they would just be ripping off Showtime completely, which is unfortunate. But them with a qualified therapist, like is her name Orna?
Yeah,
she's amazing.
Yeah,
like you would get these relationships that have been very fraught in Bravo history, and have them really talk about that shit on that kind of show. And it's like, the reunion is a little version of that, and that's kind of what I'm compelled by to. It's the same entertainment impulse that I have, where I'm like, whoa, hearing these details is shocking about two people that I've seen for 12 years, but it's also not the forum that couples therapy is, where it's more about deep rooted things.
Yeah.
And it's much more introspective and psychological.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I got all geared up and like sat down with my popcorn to watch the new couples therapy. And I have my sister's Paramount Plus login and I settled in my seat and it was like, you need the Showtime add-on to watch this. And I was like, no.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I would give you mine in a heartbeat, but it is a friend of a friend that I'm using, that I'm sharing my Peacock with, and I'm getting this random person who I've never met Paramount Plus, so I can't share it, unfortunately.
And my sister's getting screwed because she has our Hulu, but they're starting to do a thing where it's like, this is out of the network of whatever. I'm like, it's happening. It's all happening. the house of cards is crumbling.
Don't get me started on Disney Plus. I tried to share my Disney Plus with my dad and Megan's dad so they can watch Andor season 2, and it said these people you don't even know these people. Get them off your Disney Plus now. I'm like, oh my god, I want to share it with so many people. It's not fair.
Yeah.
We can't have these. Oh, anyway, all right. I'm getting pissed. Okay. Andy. Okay. Next up on the big highlights is Jesse and Michelle talking about their stuff, and Jesse gives a little bit of a throws a barb at Michelle, and he goes, we both in our divorce have weaponized our daughter Isabella. He goes, you do, Michelle. She goes, you do. He goes, maybe we both do, but you specifically weaponized our daughter when you said to my mom, this is Jesse talking about his mom, that if Isabella didn't go get to visit her dying grandma, she would never have another Christmas with Jesse's mom again in Boston, ever. And the cast kind of rallies around Michelle. They think that in that state of mind and also dealing with a dying parent, that kind of ultimatum, makes sense. And and if you don't believe Jesse that he actually did try to make steps to make this appropriate for Isabella, then you're like, okay, yes, I understand why she made such a huge claim to get her way so that he could say, but then Jesse allows his point of view, which is that, and he's already talked about this, he said that he tried to hire a grief counselor to talk to Isabella, and then Michelle goes, and the grief counselor said, she needs to see her, and you should default to me because I am the one dealing with this, and you should placate me because I'm the one grieving.
Yeah. I mean, it's like whenever they go back and forth, it is like hard to take sides because I'm like, I want to know exactly what happened for real. And it's like they both hate each other so much that it's like hard to, like, again, like it is like Isabella's just getting like shuffled back and forth between this, like, although it seems like, I don't know. I don't know what they get into in front of her or if they like say stuff in front of her or whatever, but like she seems pretty like a happy child. Like I think they like individually are good parents, but like I'm like, this needs to end. Like, you guys got to figure this shit out.
Yes, and I really hope that even a drip of this isn't seeping into the parenting of Isabella, where she needs to see her parents as antagonists. I mean, I can't imagine that they're fully able to keep her from that dynamic because it just seems so toxic between them, but I really hope they're doing a good job. And from the evidence we have, I do think they've kept her out of it for the most part on a personal one-to-one.
Yeah, like even Michelle, who hates his guts, she even herself is like, he's a great dad. Like she won't even like, whereas like Brittany is like, Jax like actually sucks.
One thing I want to note is that Jesse goes, you weaponize your daughter, just look at the comments. And Andy goes, who gives a fuck what commenters say? They don't mean anything. And I was like, oh my god, shots fired at people commenting on Bravo shit all the time. He's like, you don't we don't that doesn't rise to the forum of the reunion. It doesn't matter what anyone says, which I thought was interesting for him to say to everyone.
Well, it's like, what are you going to bring up, like public sentiment on in trial, like
no, seriously, that's a great, it's like, it means nothing. I could hire 5,000 bots right now to say Turtle Time is the best podcast and deserves to be on the top 100 time podcast. I will. It will cost me like $90, but I just like, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't. We all have to go through our own journeys on our own and adhere to whatever moral compass we have, and you can't defer to a bunch of anonymous accounts for how you need to I don't know, act as a human for the rest of your life.
So it's revealed that he is representing himself, which is always a great idea. He's like, I guess they currently have a custody agreement, but they still are working on the settlement. And she is a lawyer. He does not. And he goes, I've watched Suits 3 times, which I thought was funny.
I love that too. I started laughing. I go, Suits, that show, lawyers. That's pretty funny. 3 times. You know what would be a good show? It'd be called Representing Yourself, or it'd be called I Represent Myself, Your Honor. And it's all true stories of people who have represented themselves in court throughout history, and also new ones in real time. Because I would just love to see like them when they say, Your Honor, can I come to the bench as a witness? And they're like, I'll allow it. You know what I mean? It's just, we don't get to see that a lot. People who represent themselves in court.
Well, I feel like on Judge Judy and stuff, it's because it's like small
Mm.
claims or whatever. They're just like representing themselves, and then she like rips them a new
I
asshole.
want bigger cases. Sorry, Judge Judy. I don't know what's going on. I think that's Amazon Prime now. I want bigger cases, like people who have represented themselves
Yeah.
majorly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, pitch it. I like that. And so they're going through the nitty gritty of like that. She says that he wants back pay for stuff that
Hmm.
she spent on during their marriage. And Andy's like, can we just call it even? Like, get it fucking done. And Jesse's like, I've been thinking the same thing. Like, I want it to be done. My life is a mess, and I want to put out fires where I can.
Yeah, I love
Um,
when Andy like just declares things like that. I love
yeah,
when he's just like, "Hey, I'm not gonna just be object or subjective anymore, or try not to be biased." He's just like, "End it now." Like
yeah.
it's so much better for both of you. He's just like giving his advice to the cast
Like on
members.
a Miami reunion, I think last time, where he goes, they're all arguing about who's a narcissist, and he's like, "Aren't we all narcissists? Like we're
Yeah.
all on camera, like we're all like that. So like get over it."
Oh my God, he's gonna hate talking about that again on this reunion of Miami. He's gonna be like, "This
uh,
happened again." Oh God.
yeah,
Okay, and then Jesse says, oh, there's a little bit of a blip here where they talk about when the significant others were introduced into the lives, Isabella's life, and
yeah,
it sounds like Brittany is kind of laying the hammer down here. And even though she has an affinity for Jesse, she's more on Michelle's side. She says Michelle adhered to that, not letting Aaron be with Isabella for extended periods of time, but you broke it within a month, and your girlfriend called Michelle after a month to be like, what's the rules here? What boundaries can you set? And that Jesse had a complete double standard for Aaron and not his girlfriend, who's a mom, because he thinks that it's weirder that Isabella's around a man. Kind of an open and shut case there. Double standard. Janet declares it seemingly sexist. And
hmm
I agree. What can you say there? You know what I mean? It's like you
yeah,
want to abide by the same rules. And this is not your opinion anymore. It doesn't matter. You're in a divorce proceeding where everything has to be accounted for
hmm
and respected. And if you transgress on that, then that's going to cause Michelle to spiral and want to transgress in other ways. That this is where this tit for tat shit is coming from.
right, yeah. He was like painting a picture as if like Michelle was leaving her alone with some like creepy man and like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
It's just like
It's not
right.
fair, and it's also just it's really not fair that Jesse said that my relationship is wonderful enough that after a month, I think it's time to have her braid Isabella's hair and just completely ruin the agreement that we had set because I choose this person, and it
Right.
doesn't matter who Isabella chooses, or sorry, Michelle chooses.
Right. And then Andy asked Jax if it will be hard for him
Oh,
when Brittany starts dating a new guy and that man meets Cruz, and Jax like can't even,
that
and like he's like, I can't even talk about that. Like,
that felt like a couples therapy moment. He
yeah,
was like he could not speak. He was like, "Yeah, that's gonna be hard for me. That's gonna
he's
be
gonna go
really
insane. Like
that's."
I don't even want to think about it.
It's yeah, it's he can't even tolerate. He couldn't tolerate Brittany having sex with someone a few months after they had separated, and now he's going to be seeing photos potentially, and Cruz is going to have another stepdad at some point. I mean, it's something that Jax really needs to work through, and Andy teased that up. He's like, "How are you doing here on your mental health journey?" And he goes, "I see a therapist now every Monday,
Mhm.
to talk about this kind of stuff." But according to Brittany, the therapy has not helped at all
Right.
because he still has these kind of outbursts all the time.
Right. They do like a montage because he's like, this is the first therapy that's actually worked for me, or like that worked out because I've had so many over the years. And they show all the Vanderpump clips of him in therapy, including one that's them as a couple, which we are recapping on Monday.
How is it possible that we have so many wins for Patreon that we get to sync up exactly with modern history and also talk about Vanderpump Rules and that legacy? That he doesn't say. I wanted him to say it so bad they probably edited out that one of those therapists betrayed him. He's talked about it,
Yeah.
for years now, but he doesn't say, "Hey, just so you know, Andy, that was horrible." One of those therapists talked about me one
In
time
Australia.
in Australia.
um, he said that rehab was eye opening, that he wishes that he did it sooner. And Brittany says, me too. And I like wish that, I mean, it's not that fruitful, but I'm like, I kind of wanted them to talk a little bit more about like if they think if Brittany like wishes that if he had done it sooner, like years ago, if their relationship could have been salvaged, you
Hmm.
know, or if he's just like completely cursed and doomed. I mean, I think no, she needs to leave him, like obviously. Like she needs to run away, and that's
No.
always been the case. But I'm
Yes.
curious if like she thinks like it's just too late. But like if you would have done this 3 years ago, then
Yeah.
maybe actually,
No,
you know.
no. When Brittany was still in love with Jax, despite all of us, thinking that it was a horrible matchup for years, and he's horrible to her. I think that if he made those strides earlier in their relationship, maybe post Vanderpump Rules firing, I think that she would have made this work a lot longer, and maybe it would have been beneficial to Jax to start this process much earlier. The problem was that Brittany closed the door because he had hurt her so many times in the past. The minute that he was willing to even get a semblance of help, unfortunately, I don't think she believes his motives in doing it because it seemed like it was almost mandated by her. And then she knew she had to take this opportunity to quit the relationship because who knows how dark and awful it was
Yeah.
during this post Vanderpump Rules life
Yeah.
for
It
them.
sounds horrible.
And she keeps saying this thing, which I find so sad. She keeps saying, "I treated you the best out of everyone. I loved you the most. I always stood up for you, and you treated me the worst out of everyone." It's like
Yeah.
that is so awful.
I know.
And it's so true.
Yeah. I know.
It's
Yeah, she says like I was the only one who loved you enough to make you get help, and it's like so heartbreaking.
it really is, and we've if Jax ever does become a better person, it will be the triumph of all time. I mean, if he ever can figure out what this deep, dark uh, demon that is within him that comes forth
Dremin.
every Dremin that comes out every once a year to wreak havoc on the universe. If he ever does actually make strides, and it'll be a testament to mental health treatment, and you would wonder for years what he did to get better because he keeps having the same cycle of and he's had it for since the very beginning. I'm a
Yeah.
work in progress, but he's
Yeah.
never done anything to complete that work in progress. Maybe this will be the time, but if you're judging on his past, you would be pretty hopeless, like Brittany is.
Yeah. I wonder who he will date next. Like, I mean, we know he has like the OnlyFans girl that he hooks up with or whatever, but like generally speaking, the women that we've seen that he's been with have been like normal and cool. Like
Yeah,
Stassi,
Carmen.
Carmen, Brittany, like who will be his next? I mean, the next person will hopefully have like the dating pool will have warning of who he is, unless they just have no idea. But I don't know. I'm like, will he choose someone respectable or like totally someone that will just like do whatever he wants? You know?
Yeah, that's a great question. Like who would be good for Jax, or so to speak, who would be a great match for Jax? I mean, until he obviously works on himself, I wouldn't want anybody to date him, but
Yeah.
I don't even know who he is going to be drawn to and who he's actually going to make official as his girlfriend, who he's going to like lock in. Because you're right, when you look at the Stassi, Carmen, people that he was attracted to, it was more I don't know, it was a completely different I guess people that he brought to that relationship status with
Besides
him.
Laura Lee.
Yeah, Laura Lee is the only one where I'm like, that was a little bit of an outlier, but he really didn't treat Laura Lee respectfully at all, and I don't
Yeah.
think he would have ever even deemed her his girlfriend. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know who that would be at all.
Yeah.
If anybody can
Maybe
think,
someone in the sober community so they can like really double down on that because
I mean,
a
he's gonna
party
get
girl would be hard.
right. He's gonna get lunch with Kim
Oh
Zolciak in
my god.
Atlanta, so I'm like, Kim and him.
She's gonna be on Watch What Happens this week.
If there's someone in the Bravo universe, that would be a great question. I would really like to, for Villa Rosa VIPs and Little Turtle Cuties, is there anyone that you would want, if once Jax completes his mental health journey and becomes a 100% good human, who in the Bravo universe do you want him in 5 years to start dating? That's a good question.
Yeah, food for thought. There's a little segment about how Kristen forgave Jesse because she thought in their conversation he really took accountability, like she fully believed him. And Michelle, they bring up the thing where she says that he can cry on demand. And she's like, I never cry. It's hard for me to cry. So then I always look bad when he cries whenever he wants. And he goes, I've always been a crier. I have seen the movie Rudy a million times. And every time they pick him up at the end, I start sobbing, which
Yeah.
I've never seen that movie.
Me either. It's one of those things that you hear about for your entire life. People watching Rudy. I think at the end, the coach just gives a big thumbs up and goes, "You did it, Rudy. You did such a good job out there." But I don't. I really realize that I don't really like trying to or imagining that people fake cry. It's like kind of the last human cue that I really don't want to like think about deeply and imagine that
Sure.
Jesse fake. You know what I mean?
I'm more like, you can be a crier and still be like
Yeah,
a
of
bad
course.
person.
Of
Like that just
course.
means that's like what comes up for you.
Oh
Like
yeah.
it's like not that serious.
Tony Soprano famously cried in therapy all the time, and it was just Melfi learned that therapy was actually just creating more of a sociopath within him, and he was able to sort of endear her to him through tears.
I think in The Holiday, um, Jude Law calls himself like a certified weeper. Like
Oh
he
my
always
god.
cries.
He says that. Oh my god. What a wonderful. Yeah, he's a total leaper. I don't, I don't want to get to the place where I start to say I think Jesse is fake crying for
Although I think Jax fakes cries. But
right. And I agree with that, but Jax doesn't really cry all the time, and when he does, seems performative and there are no tears. So
he's always trying to like punch his eyeballs because like
yeah,
nothing's coming out.
yeah, so I don't doubt. I mean, I haven't seen him cry enough to be like he can't even get tears out. So I don't even accuse him of fake crying. I say he rarely ever cries.
Yeah.
He even tries to make some tears pop out, at the end.
Yeah.
Also, one thing that Kristen does say, which you acknowledged already, that Jesse really did seem introspective about what he had done wrong to Kristen, and Kristen goes, he specifically when he was banging the shit out of that table. He didn't know that was a trigger for me personally because of my past, and he took full accountability and accepted that and apologized, and she could see that it was truthful within him that he really wanted to acknowledge that and make it better. So I like that little peek,
Yeah.
into their new dynamic.
Yeah. Michelle must have hated every second of that.
An underrated little piece of this is how Kristen is able to not ruin her relationship with Michelle, but still be so clearly on Team Jesse. But like Michelle and Kristen are sort of fine. They haven't really gone to war yet. It's kind of interesting because you would think that would be the burning of a major bridge with Michelle and Kristen, but it's not really there yet. They don't really even talk about their kind of fractured
I mean, they were
friendship.
like enemies last year, so it's like they're not even close enough for it to matter, I guess.
Yeah.
Also, Jason sort of stands up for Jesse's crying, and he's like, yeah, like they're getting divorced. It's like a shitty situation. He should cry.
Yeah. No, I'm,
And Janet was like,
she was like, you just gave Jesse a point out here. No, I agree completely with Jason, one of my favorite cast members. If you don't cry when you're talking about your 3-year-old not spending Christmas with you for the first time, like who wouldn't cry? I'd cry, and I could cry now thinking about that as a future for me. It's kind of ridiculous to be like he fake cried about not seeing his daughter on Christmas Day.
yeah, I'll give it to him. I think he just actually cries.
Great.
Also, I'll give Danny a quick shout out because I believed him because I think it's possible. Anything is possible on a great day in LA. He says that from Santa Clarita to Cruz's birthday, they got there in 18 minutes.
I loved this moment. This is kind of the stuff that makes the Valley so resonant for me. Talk about this because just like him, if I got to from Santa Clarita to the Valley in 18 minutes, I would talk about it for the rest of my life. It's such a funny little true detail that he's going to take with him forever. And it's used as evidence that Santa Clarita is not that far from the action. And like everyone wants to be like, no, it's so far, Danny. It's too far, but he loves that 18-minute,
it's
victory
like
that he had.
Clueless thing, like anywhere you go in LA takes 20 minutes.
Yeah. Yes.
And
I don't know
Jasmine
that.
didn't represent them. Like,
yeah, she said I don't. She kind of just said that was all. She was basically like that was all
that
fake.
was fake bullshit.
She was like, that was fake.
Are
She
you
goes,
even a like agent? Like,
yeah.
I don't know, but okay. Then they get into the boys' chat, which I don't know if we knew this before, but Jack said it began as a mode of communication at Schwartz's wedding because they were like talking betwixt the cabins there, and that's how it began. I was like, wow, I didn't know that.
Huge origin story. It's like finding out who developed AI for the first time, where that started bubbling up. Yeah, it was the cabin talk. Can I
Yeah.
borrow a tie? Who's got Coors Light in their cabin? Can I come over? And then I'm just gonna say it before they even parse it through. It devolved into, can I say it?
Please.
Pictures of naked women,
Naked.
pictures of naked women, locker room talk, things that you've never seen. If you got a glimpse of it, you would be stunned beyond belief. People have had to leave it because it's so salacious. They say, I can't look at that one more second. And he goes, it didn't start out that way. Jax goes, it didn't start out that way, but that is what it has become.
Yeah, Brittany kept shouting out like dirty, nasty things, naked girls. It's horrible. They just degrade women 24/7. And Jax, yeah, he goes, he's looking at Andy. He's like, it's locker room talk, and I'm like, that phrase is canceled. Like we all agreed over the past like 7 years that that means bad.
Right. Very bad terminology to acknowledge the reality of what this boys chat is. I didn't think that was a defense in any way at all. And I don't know why, I guess because I'm continually surprised at things I learn about Jackson and his friends, that it actually was as horrible as they made it seem at the start of this season. It's naked photos and talking horribly about women, commenting
Yeah.
on their bodies, the jokes about Michelle sleeping with a billionaire, all that kind of shit was actually true. And then they find out that Danny got kicked out for revealing what had happened. And then Brittany goes, oh, and by the way, if Danny's going to get kicked out, well, Jack showed me a bunch of shit all the time from that boys chat. And Jesse goes, oh, thanks for that. You also don't acknowledge the sanctity of this chat.
Yeah, he's like, no, it wasn't anything bad. And this is where we get to Danny saying when he told Luke about the hooker storyline that he, for some reason, thought that they were wrapped. Like, I guess they had said, like, all right, like, we're done with this scene. Like, talk amongst yourselves. We're just wrapping up here. He didn't know. He's saying that he didn't know that there was a camera still on him. And that's why he was whispering. And this is where Janet's like, he's an actor. He knows what a mic pack is or how it works. Like, we all know how it works or whatever. And I'm like, I mean, I don't think he wanted that to happen, is the
No.
thing. Like, I think he would have preferred to not get in the mess of that, which is why I believe him, because I'm like, I think he would way prefer to not get entangled in that.
I believe him too. I'm sorry. It looked like it was filmed when they were wrapped. It looked like a camera person.
I mean,
set.
that's like idiotic to ever say anything when there's.
I bet they
still
said it was
crew
wrapped.
I know, but like that's
No,
he learned his lesson because I
sure.
would never fucking do
and
that.
It's a lesson. It's a lesson to learn. He's been on reality television now. This is the second season. He hasn't been on this long. The way it was framed and filmed, and the way he's whispering, and the fact that they didn't have it actually perfectly on camera, I think solidifies that this was post wrap. And then Janet makes that statement that everybody said at BravoTV.com. They go, "Be quiet, Janet. That's enough." I believe Danny. I mean, I believe him on this. He says, "I hand to God, I swear on this. That's why I was whispering." And so that's enough for me to be like, I believe that he's telling the truth there. Why would he pretend and be so coy about trying to get that fact out there?
Yeah, I'm just like, I think he wants to be in as little drama as possible. So I believe him, and I'm like, his wife, he would know, would be pissed about that. So I doubt that he like was trying to sneak in action.
Remember when Nia said that's going to be on camera, Daniel? And Daniel goes, I know. There's a camera to the left of
Here,
me and
here,
a
and
camera
here.
right here.
Yeah. Then they start talking about like Michelle says Jesse's broke. She goes, who's paying your rent? And he's like, I'm paying my rent. And she's like, but who's lending you money? And they don't answer this.
He doesn't say anything. Jesse kind of just lets it go, and Andy doesn't follow up. I would have liked to know. It sounds like there's someone actually is lending Jesse money during this time.
Who's
he has
the sugar daddy?
He has sort of a repertoire of people that are facilitating his life. He doesn't have a lawyer.
Yeah.
But he has a team of lawyers that still can give him advice, and he possibly has people that are sending him money to prop him up so he can still live next to the Chateau Marmont.
I know. I totally forgot that they rented that place because when they were saying that they don't have any assets. I was like, oh yeah, they don't even own that house. Um,
What if somebody Zelled me my rent every month? Oh
that'd be
my god.
fantastic.
Oh, it would be
Um,
such a huge weight lifted off my shoulders.
that's what our dear Patreons are for. They help us.
You, Villa Rosa VIPs, you're killing it there. It definitely helps sustain my life for sure. Thank you so much.
And this is where we get like they ask about how Michelle had said that when Jesse got money, he became a douchebag. And he said this on Watch What Happens already, but he says it again that he's like, I think I was always a douche. And he goes, I had a tongue ring, for God's sakes. And Brittany goes, so did I. And Jax goes, so did I. And I was like, I didn't know that.
Me either. It's just one of those things that you wish you knew as you were watching Vanderpump Rules. The fact that Jax and Brittany was 18 or 19, and Jax must have just gotten his tongue ring pulled out of his mouth by the time he started on
It was his
Vanderpump
Miami
Rules.
days,
And
probably.
yeah, totally, and they show confirmation that Jesse has a big thing, a ring in his mouth,
Yeah.
because he pulls out his tongue and shows off to the world when he was younger that
Yeah,
he had one.
he's a total raver boy. And then it's like a cutaway moment when they're going back after the break. But Jesse's like, "Hey, Andy, do you want to join the boys' chat?" And he's like, "No, no, no, no." He's like, "That's an HR issue. Keep that shit away from me."
He's kind of pissed at first because Jesse interrupted him. He goes, "No," and then he goes, "Oh, sorry, no, sorry, HR issue." He doesn't give Jesse the time of day at all. He's like kind of pissed at Jesse the whole time.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, they should like somehow weasel him into the like $1 million listing universe. That would be fun.
Yeah, I think
Um,
Andy hates Jesse because he hated Jesse on Watch What Happens Live that first time he came on, and he hasn't gotten over the fact that Jesse sucked on Watch What Happens Live.
yeah, everyone has to cross that gauntlet. Okay, now we get to the real meat. This is the Jackson Brittany of it all. It starts out with asking about the Julian timeline. She claims it was about a month after they broke up. Jax seems to think it was even less or quicker than that. Um, and he's like, but I did have a girl over myself, and it was that Paige OnlyFans girl.
Did you see
Um,
that photo?
oh yeah,
It was like for
they
like
love to show that.
it was like Kentucky Fried Chicken ad or something. Did you see?
What?
Oh, I'm almost positive. Or was it Hooters?
I don't know.
I think it was a full ad. I think it was oh my god. I hope I'm not getting this wrong. It was like a modeling photo. I'm
Oh,
pretty sure. Maybe it's maybe I don't know if I don't want to say anything that I don't know about this person who really exists in the world, but I'm
yeah.
pretty sure it was like an advertising campaign or some
Oh,
like photo
okay. I
shoot
just
that Paige was on.
remember boobs, but
I know.
I need to
Right.
take a look.
Yeah.
Um, and so then like Brittany again is like going through all the shit that he has done, that like how aggressive he had been. Again, that he threw the coffee table and hit her. He threw her bar stools, threw her phone and broke it, threw her laptop and broke it. And a new detail that I don't think she said before was that he threw her into the rose bush, which he denies. And she says that she has the ring cam footage, and like all of her friends are like nodding, like she showed us. And I'm like, oh
Yes.
God.
Yeah, horrible. And you could tell that Brittany, wanted this for everyone to know. And then when he tries to push back and say, "No, Rosebush, that's the one I won't give you," Brittany says that she has evidence, and all of these people have seen it, and that's throughout this entire segment. She's like, "Don't lie. I've shown this to Zach. I've shown this to my close friends, and now I've shown text messages of you calling me the tree trunk and all this kind of stuff. So you just can't lie anymore. I have proof of all of this stuff." So again, I think Jax would have lied through his teeth throughout this entire reunion if Brittany hadn't been good about now. She doesn't give a fuck about her relationship with him, and now she can provide evidence, and she has people to back her up on all of these claims.
The Valley brought to you by Ring Cam, for real. It comes up every 10 minutes, the Ring Cam.
Yeah.
She's talking about how she didn't really date Julian. She said they hooked up a couple times a week. Her confidence was at an all-time low. She says like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have hooked up with someone in the group, but I don't give a shit because you degraded me so constantly. You body shamed me. You made me lose my sparkle. And he goes, oh God, with the fucking sparkle. And she's enough with the sparkle. And she's like, shut up. Like, you made me lose my sparkle, which like goes all the way back to Jackson Brittany Take Kentucky, which we talked about. Like that was the first time that she's lost her sparkle since, what was that, season 5?
Yeah, I think so. When did we recap that wonderful show? I don't remember, but yeah, no, I think it was between 5 and 6, probably. And didn't it started with Jax telling Brittany's dad that Brittany had lost her spark?
Yeah.
And then it turned into Sparkle at some point. But I'm pretty sure it started with Jack saying, "Hey, your daughter has completely lost her spark." And
which was always under the guise of having gained weight.
yes, and the dad goes, that's my daughter that I love, and she hasn't lost her spark at all. She's the same daughter I've always had."
He's like, well, she's keeping Postmates in business. I gotta tell you, and it's like he's like
Dad.
absolutely fucking insane the way that he talks to her family about her and like their relationship and his, the whole thing of like right before they got married, where he's like, I gotta look out for number one, which I think we have that should be coming up shortly for us on Patreon because it's like right before their wedding, which
Yeah.
is like we're in their like engagement party era right now. So that's going to be a hard watch to see it happening in slow motion.
If anyone needs to think less about themselves, it's Jax completely.
Yeah.
Maybe he should commit to not thinking about himself for 1 second and only thinking about other people. That was obviously got him down a bad road. That philosophy. Then they go into more. This is when Brittany says, and you can tell the hurt in her voice, "I had your child, and you body shamed me for stretch marks." And he goes, "No, I didn't. No, I didn't. No, I didn't." And Zach goes, "I've seen it." And Jasmine goes, "I've seen it. We've all seen this. So you can't get out of this anymore." So then he has to just, whatever, say nothing. He doesn't acknowledge it, but he just doesn't say anything because he's getting his ass handed to him by all these cast members that know the truth.
He starts to get pissed, though, when Zach is the one to chime in. He goes, "Watch your mouth. Like, you shut up. Like, this has nothing to do with you." Like, he can't take the, what he would call the peanut gallery, at least specifically Zach.
Yeah, he doesn't like that Zach is saying it. And then she goes, "You called me a tree trunk." And that's when Zach goes, "I know that you said it, and everyone knows." And then Jax is just sitting there, and Janet goes, "Instead of trying to pretend that this didn't happen, maybe apologize now." And then this is when, they talk about the sex ranking a little bit. But I think Jax at this point turns and just tries to, for the audience or whatever you want to say, like tries to just be like, "I should apologize for everything from now on. I'm in a horrible place. I'm trying to get better." I think he stops defending himself, at this point for the rest of this segment.
Yeah. I mean, again, so the thing he says that you can tell that Andy perks up and looks at Brittany when he says this. He goes, "I pushed my wife away. I did everything in my power to make her leave me. I caused so much pain and drama over the years, and alcohol and drugs were just the icing on the cake." And you can tell Andy's like, "Ooh, like that's good. Like that's something to work with or whatever." But I'm like, he literally already said that when he broke up with her in season 6. He said, like, I was pushing her away by cheating. Like, I'm like, when you've watched the show consistently for 10 years, he says the same exact shit forever. So you're like, nothing is ever a turning point. Like, we haven't seen anything to this day in 2025 that has made me feel like maybe that's a new learning or like a new moment, like aha for him. Like, I still have not, he's never said a single thing where I'm like, that actually gives me a little bit of hope.
I agree with that completely, but I do wonder subconsciously, was he doing this pattern that he's always committed to for his run on Vanderpump Rules? I mean, he was a person that was too cowardly to break up with someone when he didn't see the future of a relationship, so he would just destroy the relationship and make them have to break up with him.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if he just did a round 2 with Brittany because he was so miserable or unhappy, and he did just treat her like fucking shit, being like, "This, how long will you tolerate this? Because I obviously want out." I almost don't doubt that was a part of this for him, because he's done it in the past. He did it with Carmen to make her break up with him. He did it with Brittany in season 6, like you're talking about. Like, I just wonder if 20 or 30% of it was being like, "Wow, I'm going to be a fucking toxic piece of shit. How much more can you tolerate before you pull the trigger on this and end this for me?"
Yeah, and he's like self-loathing. It's like that is it, sorry to utter, but that Annie Hall, I think it's the Annie Hall quote where he's like, "I don't want to be a member of any club that would have me," or whatever. Like, you just like don't respect anyone that actually wants to be with you, because you're like, that's pathetic, actually.
Yeah, I think about that all the time from that movie that I don't know who directed it. I think about that fact all the time, or that sort of, what is that called? Parable? But and then so you're right though. You're right that it is just one of the 5 things that Jack says for every time he's in the doghouse. You know,
Yeah.
he does pull that. So maybe it is just the rationale he's used time and time again, and he's just using it because he thinks at least I have something to account for my behavior. And then this is when he said what I already mentioned. Things got really bad after I lost my job. I was spiraling. It was COVID, and I started to worry frantically for how I was going to pay, you know, for our lives after losing my job and having a kid on the way. And he goes, and then Brittany goes, you resented me when I started to make money, like kind of questioning how this could be real. How can this be true? Why would you do something? And he goes, I did. I was ashamed as a man that I wasn't providing for my family, and I resented Brittany for making more money. And so it's like it makes me think about that time when we were seeing those Brittany Jenny Craig ads and stuff that were coming up, and I was like, oh my god, who would have thought that the house was a horror show when
Yeah.
Brittany got that deal and when she's doing those ads and Jax is in the background being like, I could have fucking done that ad. Like, you know, it gets worse and worse the more you even think about it.
It's crazy listening to this just after Sheena's book, because they really like have them by like the neck with, they have no idea if their lifestyle is sustainable. Like Sheena, before she got demoted, had just bought that Palm Springs house, and she was like, I wouldn't have fucking bought it if I knew that I was going to get paid by the day any second. Which is, I mean, they should all know this and maybe not buy a 5-bed 7-bath house when they could have just like bought like a humble home and like made good investments. They just, all of them spent every cent they earned assuming that they were going to keep making $250,000 for 10 more years.
I agree. I sort of agree, but I also think it's a testament to um, sort of the chaotic inner workings of reality television that Sheena even had to, for a second, think that after 7 seasons of a successful show, that she was going to be demoted and get a 10% or whatever, like 20% of her income at that point. Like, and shouldn't a cast member who's been on a profitable franchise on Bravo for 7 seasons be able to afford a house at that point to upgrade their life?
Well, does it have to be a
No,
massive $2
no,
million house?
obviously not. But I just think that there is something that I feel on the side of the actors that they should have some peace, at least with 6 month notice or something, that Vanderpump Rules is not going to function the same as it did.
Sure,
Because
I'm not saying it's
yeah,
good. I'm just
no, no,
saying
no,
that's the reality, and they should operate within that understanding.
yeah,
Because they were making a good amount of money. Like they should all be pretty in a pretty good spot still if they were
yeah,
smart.
yeah.
And something I loved that Sheena brought up was that when she got demoted, she was like, if they did that to Stassi in the way they did it to
Oh,
me, she
oh
would
yeah,
have said like, go fuck yourself. Like, I don't need this. And she's like, I never had the confidence to do that. And I'm like, I feel like Stassi was always going to be fine because she's like smarter and like had her finger in different pies and was like always going to expand outside of just getting paid to do the show. Whereas like the OGs, some of them were like just holding on to that paycheck, and that's kind of all they ever had. And I'm like, that could go away literally at any second,
yeah.
like any day.
Yeah, no, I love that part too. I love that she said Stassi would have said, "Well, fuck you," you know, I won't be on this show ever again. Yeah, and they probably felt like, you know, they probably used the desperation of some cast members to make those decisions to be like, "Oh, we can demote the shit out of Kristen because what the fuck is she going to do about it?" Which I think is kind of bordering on a little bit of, you know, just unfortunate for these cast members. Who I'll only say this is that if they had residuals, none of this would have happened. Like
Yeah,
this is
even
all solved by
a small
residuals.
amount. Like it's
Yeah.
probably, imagine I mean the way that Peacock reports on viewership is completely mind-boggling. Like they're like, Love Island is the most viewed show of all time with 1 billion seconds viewers. Like it's like,
That
I'm like, what does
starts
that mean?
that starts with an L.
Right.
No. It's seriously, there is no metric now that comes out of anywhere that I believe, because if you look and parse the qualifiers, it means nothing.
Yeah.
The Valley is the biggest debut of a V-rated show in the TV-14 category that premiered on a Monday.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Like people watched it for 10 seconds
Yeah.
a million times, whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, if they got any amount, like a quarter of a cent
Of course.
per view, imagine like post Scandival how many
Of
people
course.
streamed Vanderpump Rules.
No.
Like they would have each made like
No, I know.
$1 million.
I don't even. It doesn't have to be comparable with SAG, whatever SAG residuals are. They need their own sort of. They should unionize, I guess, as cast members, but well, whatever. But at least a fraction, like you just said,
Right.
some comparable thing that lets them participate in the success of a franchise that they created. It's not right at all that Sheena needs to be scraping together pennies after season 9 of Vanderpump Rules. It makes no sense for what she contributed to that show.
Yeah.
I just have to say.
No, yeah. But it's hard to watch seeing that. I mean, first of all, I think they were already completely like they were going to be at the top of their budget, assuming things continued. Like I think they were still spending as much money as they had, and then it got taken away, and then Jax didn't pay the mortgage, and he had tax debts. So it was just like they bought that house knowing that he had over $1 million in tax debts.
Yeah.
So like, what are you thinking?
Right.
Like that's insane. That's insane.
Yeah, I guess it's a definite. Both things can be true. I obviously think I don't endorse all of the spending that definitely happened. I just wish that the Vanderpump Rules cast that created the Friends of reality television, had been compensated better. But that does not negate the fact that they made horrible financial decisions, and Jax especially, throughout his entire career, which he gets into too. He talks about, I didn't pay the mortgage, I didn't pay my car note, I just let it all fucking flounder around me. I didn't give a shit, which I find incomprehensible.
I know, insane. And then they start talking about the custody. Brittany says she has full custody. Their divorce isn't final, but the plan is for him to get Cruise every Wednesday and then every other weekend. And she's like, and of course, like if I'm doing something like getting my nails done or like going to be busy in the short term, he could watch him, like whatever. Which Jax seems like okay with. He doesn't really argue it, but I'm sure he currently is arguing every second. But
you're right. He does seem like he's like, yeah, that's perfect for me. Wednesday and every other weekend and some errands. It's like, I think that he knows enough about the reality of his situation to be like, I defer to Brittany on this one. And he's
like
lucky to get that.
Scared straight in this reunion where he's like, anything I say can and will be used against me in a court of law. Like he's just like, okay, yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and especially now in this era, and then it kind of gets. This is for me. This was a huge revelation. This is where I think that why the Valley is so interesting to me. That we get to see this sort of addendum to Vanderpump Rules, and he talks about his sobriety and how he didn't properly account for drugs and alcohol the first time he went to rehab. That was more accounted for the second time. He is now 156 days sober. He still smokes weed. But then Brittany says, again, trying to state for the record so everyone knows, she goes, are you on steroids? And the way I kind of feel like I know Jax enough, the fact that steroids was even broached means that he has a history of doing steroids, which is something that I never imagined. I mean, I don't think about steroid use.
He got those breast lumps removed. That was totally about steroids.
Okay, I thought, yeah, right. I believe
they tried to act it was about powders from like the protein store, but
yeah,
it was totally steroids. Also,
I don't know anything about steroids, so that's why I was naive to that.
Jimmy's like into fitness stuff, and when he watches the after show, he's like, "Holy shit!" Like he's on massive amounts of steroids. Like he's huge. Like it's like undeniable. And I'm like, great for someone with rage issues.
I know, no, yeah, it's yeah. So I believe that he was just chugging a big bunch of powders, and then now, like to hear that he's on steroids, it's like, oh my god, another thing
because
that
his
makes
pattern is that when he is like trying to do mental health, he excessively works out. Remember, like when he was going to the gym like 4 times a day on season 8.
I know, but it's just there is no mental health future for him if he continues to also be doing. Well, I don't know. I mean, I assume steroids affect your mood, right? Or do they
roid rage?
Yeah, that's all I've heard. I mean, I can't emphasize enough that I haven't used steroids. I don't know anything about them, but it sounds like that is also something that needs to be accounted for. If it has any behavioral effects, and Jax, especially someone who is prone to rage, should not be on him. And so, interesting for me to learn that. That's another
Yeah.
aspect of this.
Yeah, she sort of pulled that out of her pocket. She was like, I want him to be accountable for that.
It was just like it was just like saying, acknowledging on camera that he does coke. It was like, hey, I'm putting this for all of you to know. Jax has imbibed or indulged in steroid use throughout
Yeah.
his run on Vanderpump Rules.
I like that everyone, basically the entire room, is like, he can smoke weed. Like,
Yeah.
it's fine. Like, that doesn't bother us.
He goes, I can't, hey, you can't take weed away from me. I love smoking weed, which I did not know about Jax. I didn't
I
know that he was a
know.
big weed head.
Yeah, I think it's come up here and there, but I'm like, if it chills him out, I guess. Although I can see him getting like paranoid and like becoming insane.
So that's why he was eating Doritos and watching girls.
Yeah. I love
Um,
that for him.
Me too.
Brittany, when she is talking about the steroids, she says that his attitude and personality is sporadic, which is incorrect. I think she meant like what was she trying to say? Like erratic.
Yeah, I think she pulled a full blown sporadic when she meant erratic. I would have probably said on accident said sporadic as well. His personality is completely erratic.
Yeah.
And that's why she wants to know, hey, if you're sober, why the fuck do you still send me messages
Yeah.
like this? So I need to know, are you still doing steroids? And then Jax gets a little bit, this ends with him having this, I'm bordering on tears. He goes, I want you to test me. I want to be better. The drug testing that Brittany has put in effect that she's mandated, he says, I want to adhere to that. Every Monday, drug test me. That's why I send you these results, because I want to be held accountable. Drugs and alcohol have ruined my life. That's what he says, like kind of towards the
Yeah.
end as he wells up with tears. And then he does say, she goes, you knew all of this stuff was happening. You were doing all these things while we were still filming. And he goes,
Whenever we were filming.
oh, oh my God. Oh, I didn't even notice it again, even though it's so on my radar now. She said, whenever we are filming, you did these things. And he goes, I've never do stuff just because we're filming. That's why our show is amazing and a masterpiece that it is. This is the real shit. I put everything out there, which is like, you could say anything about me, but do not say that I've ever faked anything for the show.
The martyr of reality television. I leave it all on the table.
Which is like, it's not true at all. I mean, I like this, network style monologue in defense of reality television, but it's like, it's not true. You didn't admit that you had coke. You would have never admitted that you behaved erratically and hurt Brittany. You would have never said this iceberg, the depths of the iceberg of descent of morality that you've gone to. And so like, you're not fully honest ever. I think you lie your ass off while you're filming.
Yeah. We had a comment somewhere that I was wondering if it came from Sheena's book, but I never saw it when I listened to it, that Sheena said somewhere that the number one guy in the group was like a pickup.
Yeah, I think our Villa Rosa VIP shared that.
But I didn't look up where that came from. I need to know more because I'm like, don't take that away from me.
I know, it's so demystifying to imagine that Jeremiah came over and he goes, Jax, I know you just did a big line of coke, but you kind of were sniffing as you said that I'm the number one guy. Can you come back really quick and say that to Sandoval again? Yeah. And then Sandoval has to pretend that he just heard it for the first time with his glasses on. That's like when I found out that they had to do the Katie getting dumped a big bucket of beer on her head.
I like compartmentalize that. I don't want to think that.
I haven't thought about it until I just said it then. It's like, I can't. I can't. I want it to be sloppy and just do the first take instead of hearing that you guys, redid this. But I think we both agree that because of this, because of Jax and Brittany going through this and discussing their marriage and the fallout, the Valley has proved what it was always meant to be. This new experience watching the cast members, go in this new direction. And so I got exactly what I wanted from this reunion. And they didn't need to talk about some of the dumber aspects that you and I commented on and thought that were completely drawn out. So if it continues like this is an amazing reunion. I mean, great part one.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, actually, part three, like 3 parts will be fine. It seems like next week we get more Brittany versus Jax. We get Jesse and Michelle talking about cheating, and we get Jason calling Danny like a psycho or something. Like
Yeah.
he really hates his guts.
I don't know what's going on with Jason there. I might have to hopefully maybe message him and say, Jason, do you have time to call me on Instagram? I want to know what's going on with this Danny stuff because I don't. I think to make Danny a monster helps Jason and Janet reconcile what they did this season. And so, in a way, they're having to force that Danny is this ultimate secret monster piece of shit, which the jury's still out. Quite possibly could be. I don't know all the information. I don't know him as a
Yeah.
human, but it's for their benefit as an alliance to do this. So I'm gonna talk to Jason. I'll let you know what he says. I don't.
Yeah. I guess they're like Jax is well covered, like well worn
Yes.
territory. Let's go for this other guy who's vulnerable and will keep the spotlight off us.
Yeah, and again, you just take this. This is all with what we know now. Who knows what will happen? But I don't really understand Jason's commitment to hating Danny as he
Yeah.
does from what I've seen. So, Amy, I have a question for you. How the hell did we only recap one thing, which is easy to recap, and only do 12 minutes of news, and then it ends up being as long as any episode? This makes no sense
Classic
structurally.
turtle time.
It doesn't make any sense. An hour and 25 minutes. Well, anyway, I hope it was worth it. I hope this was valuable. I hope that we scratched the surface and uncovered every stone from this reunion. I hope we completed the mission of Turtle Time. We hope that we made you smile and or laugh and or we provided you with a hot take that shocked you. That's the Turtle Time mission. And we want to announce the winners of the Turtle Time 500 Apple Podcast Review
Challenge.
contest challenge. It's amazing. Unfortunately, the way Apple Reviews works, we have no clue who the actual 500th was because they could have been approved all at the same time and come in. So I'm going to. Do you want me, Amy, to do it, or would
Yeah,
you
if
like
you have
to?
them up.
I have them up.
Okay.
The one I think is 500 is Kinsey Key.
Okay. Yep.
Kinsey Key. Thank you so much. This review is beautiful. I'm not going to read every review, but it's a 5-star. Definitely appreciate that.
Mama like.
Mama like for sure. I want to say Nicole Badali right before Kinsey Key, maybe 499, possibly 500, wrote a beautiful 5-star review. I love this one. I mean, can't get better. Unfortunately, I'll skip ahead for one. And then we have 2 now that are in contention. No, sorry, 3. Rachel Trout wrote a beautiful 5-star review, my favorite podcast. Lala Weed 13, I laugh every time, 5 stars. And the last one, Mother Boy 30 says this is the only podcast I pay for a Patreon membership for. I
Yeah.
love it.
Little Turtle Cutie and Villa Rosa VIP for life.
So I mean, the fact that 4 out of the 5 are 5-star reviews, it doesn't.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that other one, but we love getting all the accolades. If you want to send us more, let's road to 600, road to 1,000.
Well, let's put a pin in this, but I definitely want to do the Turtle Time Apple Review Podcast 600 contest. So let's put a pin in that one.
666 maybe.
6662. That sounds good. I mean, that's kind of far off from 600. So 600, 666. We love these reviews. I know it's cumbersome and I think it's tedious and I think it's also Apple Podcasts makes it really hard to review. You have to like log in with your shitty iCloud, but it's really appreciated for that 5 minutes you spend doing it. I mean, if you want to just blast out a 5-star and say, "Hey, just doing this for you guys." But we love every review. It's beautiful. And then I want to say if you want to continue this Turtle Time beautiful experience, there is a place that Amy and I have cultivated with wonderful people called the Villa Rosa VIPs, and they pay a certain amount a month, and they get access to a Vanderpump Rules recap series in addition to sort of a discussion board for each main feed episode. Every single comment that comes in, Amy and I look with a fine-tooth comb and a magnifying glass, and we use those comments to fulfill our discussions in the future. And our Villa Rosa VIPs help us with questions that we didn't know. They provide us feedback. And so it's just a wonderful little Turtle Time community that I cherish with all of my heart.
Yes, I love reading those comments. We ask for, sometimes we have people vote for what we're going to talk about. We learn so many fun facts on there. It's a totally cool vibe, no negativity whatsoever. I'm always completely at ease. So I highly recommend it. I always say if I wasn't the person that they were talking about, I would be in there because I like the group.
I'd be in there like hell, running around, having the time of my life, talking about people that weren't me. So thank you all so much for being with us. Today we'll have an episode, obviously on Friday, talking about Miami and OC, and then yeah, we'll be back this week with another episode. But thank you all so much for being here. We'll talk to you very soon.
Ciao.
Whoa, ciao, goodbye. I'll say goodbye, but I like ciao.